Hey everybody. So this last couple weeks have been a big struggle. Um, and yeah, today I was gonna go downtown with my husband, and then I had an episode. So I am sitting outside, resting in the shade for a little while, trying to get some energy back. And I thought I would just pull out my phone because I got a thing to think about. So, for those of you who don't know, and that probably includes most of you, I am writing a novel, actually a trilogy, and I have been writing it for probably a year and a half now. I think I started it either January or summer of last year, and then I did NaNoWriMo in February, and I won. I wrote like 5,800 words in November, got to chapter 12 of the first novel, got stuck right like 2 days before the end of November. So then I dipped into the second novel, started writing a few things there. And it's super, super fun. The reason I started writing more regularly was because as my condition got worse, there was fewer things that I could physically do, like knitting, because that's both physical and mental. And of course, if you fuck up, you drop stitches. It's really bad. So knitting was out. Spinning started to be more difficult as well, but I could still sit in my bedroom with my computer and write. So I did a lot more of that. It was the one thing that gave me joy. And it was actually the thing that convinced me that it was time to go off of work. Because I got home one day in end of January of this year, 2025, and was sitting while my husband was cooking dinner and thought to myself, if I stop writing, I can work longer. And it was the one thing I had left that gave me joy. So that was part of what convinced me to actually take this step and go off of work and just focus on my health. So I've been continuing to write. I'm still not done book one, because what happened was I thought it was going to end after part 3 with just a tiny little finale. It turned out it wanted to be 5 more chapters. Go figure. So I've been working on that off and on, and I've struggled with it. You know, like I because I'd worked on book 2, I kind of knew where I wanted to go. So it was trying to get book 1 to get there. And so that's been a bit of a struggle because it's all brand new. Like I've had this story in my head for over a year, and it was going to end here, and then it decided not to, and so that made everything weird. So what's happened now is that I had an idea for how to end book 2, and for shits and giggles, I wrote it this week over about 3 or 4 days, and it's, in the end, it'll be about 12,000 words because I'm wordy, whatever. But it's really, really good. And so I definitely want to get there. And so I was thinking about this, like, how do I get there? How do I structure all of book 2 to be able to get to this ending? And also, how do I structure the end of book 1 to lead into book 2? And then yesterday, while I was in the shower, as I was running this stuff in my head, because that's what happens sometimes, is I'm just running ideas, I realized that there was a tension moment, a bit of action, and that I'd planned for book 2 that didn't fit anymore if I wanted to get to that ending. But I still needed that, and I'm like, oh well, maybe this can be the plot for book 3. Because I haven't quite figured out what book 3 was going to be about. But as soon as I thought that, everything started to work. it's been absolutely fascinating to watch what's been happening in my brain. I have literally almost like plotted out all of book 2, like what's going to happen and the little things that I have to make happen, and a good half to 3/4 of book 3. And I've gotten to know the book 3 point of view character. I knew bits about her before, like she had red hair, she had a 7-year-old daughter, she lived in Saskatoon, and she was a psychiatrist. But now I know so much more about her. And she's so cool, and I cannot wait to write her. So I almost feel like I'm going to be writing this series backwards. Like, I have most of book 1. I'm 3 chapters away from finishing it. But I almost feel like I need to finish writing books 2 and 3 so I can go back and finish book 1, which is ridiculous. So I'm going to be all over the place when I'm writing this. And what I was thinking about, like, because when I was sitting here thinking, like, this might be the way it has to happen, I'm like, well, that's backwards. Why would you write the last book first? But I realized that it's not backwards. When you are a fiber artist and you're planning a project, especially if you're going like from raw fleece or raw fiber or whatever, you're always looking at your end use. You're always looking at what you want to accomplish at the end. And now I know what I want to accomplish at the end. So then I have to start working back. Like when you're planning the project, like, okay, well, I want an absorbent towel. What are the fibers that are absorbent? How thick does it need to be? What is the best technique for the application for this towel? Like, should it be knit? Should it be crochet? Should it be woven? If it's woven, how thick do we do 2/4, or do we grab some Bernat Handicrafter and see if we can weave with that because it's a knitting yarn, right? So you gotta work it back from what it is you want to do. So I almost feel like I should write book 3 first, and then maybe come back to book 2, and then finish book 1. And it doesn't help that my trilogy is paranormal women's fiction, and my magic system is literally fiber arts. It's going to be so much fun. I really look at the smile. Like, I feel like shit right now. Like, I can barely move. And it gives me so much happiness to sit here, even when I feel absolutely awful, and think about these characters and these stories and this world, and just live in it for just a little bit. So yeah, so I got to thinking about that as when I was thinking that, oh, it's backwards to write book 3 first, but really not necessarily. It's maybe not typical, but on the other hand, I want to get to a certain place. And if I know I want to get to a certain place, then I have to work everything backwards. So we'll see. I may be writing all 3 books at the same time, right? Which would be super fun. But yeah. So I was just thinking about that. Anyway, someday I will have books ready to be published, and I hope you will enjoy them as much as I do, or at least some of you will enjoy them as much as I do, because I know not everybody likes every other book. But yeah. So anyway, that's just a thought that I had right now while I'm sitting here attempting to regulate my body temperature and rest and wait for my system to calm down enough that I can go back inside. So that's all for now. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope it's beautiful where you are, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.